Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And thank you so much also for your questions on the Look Fabulous Forever Facebook page. It was a real pleasure to answer your questions and hear some of the issues that are very popular issues, common issues. So what we're going to do, I'm going to run through, I think Nicole is with us and she is going to ask me some of the questions that we've had. But we also do have our chat box. So if you've got anything else you want to ask, then type away. And at the end, if we've got time, I will hopefully be able to answer your questions. So we will get started then. Nicole, what's the first question?
So the first question is, why are your products different and why do I need different products for older skin?
Yes, that came up in relation to skincare, I think, particularly, but also makeup. And it's a really good question. You know, there are so many products out there on the market today. And I think it's quite baffling if you go into a department store knowing where to go, what to do. And I think that's why Tricia, our founder, sort of decided that actually there was nothing specifically for us, for the more mature ladies who also want to look fabulous. And I think as we age, things definitely change. I know that my skin has changed massively, particularly after the menopause. We generally lose elasticity, we lose collagen, which is sort of the framework holding everything up. Everything that was up starts to come down, gravity wins out. And I think we often get much more dehydrated. Obviously, there are things like fine lines, pigmentation, hyperpigmentation, all sorts of issues on our skin, which means that actually, well, when Look Fabulous Forever introduced skincare, they took a little while to get there because we wanted to get it absolutely right. And I must admit, when I first used the makeup products, I thought, I wonder whether the skincare is going to be as good when it came along. It is, it's really good. And so what we've got in there are really good ingredients that are targeting older, more mature skin. Things like hyaluronic acid, things like vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin C. And in terms of the makeup that used to go on to smooth skin, when I used to have lovely smooth eyelids and, you know, I didn't have the lines that I've got now, and my makeup would just go on, I could put an eyeliner on easily. That doesn't happen when you've got older skin because it's not as smooth. So I think the way that Look Fabulous Forever has introduced things like the primers particularly, they work so well on older skin. The first product that I was introduced to when I heard about Look Fabulous Forever was the Smooth Light Silk Face Prime, this one. And for me, it's a game changer. It really is, in terms of keeping my foundation on all day, filling in the little fine lines so that my foundation goes on really smoothly. It's like a decorator priming a wall before putting on paint. So it means that everything goes on better. And even though I've got sort of fine lines everywhere, which is yeah, that's normal, that's life, and I don't want to get rid of those lines, but I want my makeup to go on smoothly and stay put, so I'm not worried about it all day. So the fact that we've got that one, we've got the eye primer, which is really good for pigmentation. I've got a lot more little veins showing on my eyelids. So things like the primers, that we're coming on, I think, to lip primer. We've had a few questions about the lip primer, so I'll talk about that later. Bring Back Brow. You know, I think the Look Fabulous Forever Bring Back Brow is quite unique in that it is, you know, something, even if you've got no brows, you can use that, and we'll talk about that later. So the products were developed specifically for more mature skins, and not to try and make us look like 20-year-olds. I don't want to look like a 20-year-old, thank you very much. I just want to look like the best version of me as I age. I love putting on makeup, and I want to be able to put my makeup on and not worry about it and just feel the best version of me. And that's what I think Look Fabulous Forever has done. So our products are different. They are very specific for our age group, our skin, the things that are happening to our skin. And they've been developed for that reason, really. So I hope that helps. And if you sort of look at all the ingredients and the reasoning behind them, you'll see that. So yeah, really great. Oh, the serum, I must talk about the SPF 50 serum as well quickly. This for me has also been a bit of a game changer. And I know that's something that we wanted to introduce, but wearing that every day not only protects older skin, because you do need to protect yourself from sun damage, but I find my makeup goes on so much better when I wear it as well. And I know a lot of ladies have said the same thing, but brilliant product. Okay, let's go on to another question.
So someone asked if they can use Spring Brow Shape to add brows, or does it just color the hair that they already have?
Bring Back Brow Shape. Yes. So this is, as I said, quite a unique product. Bring Back Brow Shape is something that you can use, and we have got various videos that show us demonstrating it on ladies that have got absolutely no brow hairs for whatever reason. It might be that you plucked all your brows when you were younger, you might have a hormone problem, you might have had treatment and lost your brows. And it can be quite distressing, because having no brows at all means that you've lost that definition of your face. Brows really do bring definition to an older face. For me, I've lost the end of my brows. I've lost about 0.5 centimetre on the end. I don't know where it's gone. It's gone, it's just disappeared. And a lot of people have gaps in their brows as they get older. I used to have really thick brows. I used to hate my brows. I used to spend hours plucking and trying to make them look thinner. And then obviously nowadays, it's very fashionable to have incredibly thick brows when you're young. I think as you're older, it's a question of balance. And Bring Back Brow Shape is a product that you shake it. It's got a little ball bearing in it. If you haven't ever tried it, it's worth trying. I think a lot of ladies are frightened of it because it's a bit scary, because it's a paint. So if I show you, the brush is incredibly fine. So, oops, that way around. You can see it's a very, very, very fine brush. It's a paintbrush. So that's why, even if you have no brow hairs at all, you can literally paint them in. What I do, the way that I use the product is, if you have got brow hair, then first of all, groom it with our wonderful spoolie brush. This is our brush number 6. And if you've got brows, you can literally just go upwards to get them in the right shape. Might be that you've got no brows. If you've got no hair at all, I would use the Bring Back Brow before putting on eye makeup. I've got brow hair, so I tend to use it after I put on my eye makeup. It's up to you. There's no wrong or right with makeup. So if you have got brow hair, use the spoolie brush, give it a shake. There are 3 colours. There's blonde. I've used the blonde colour today. There's brown, which is a darker brown, and there is grey. So there is a shade pretty much for everyone. So what I then do is the grey one. I won't use that. I won't actually do it, but this is the blonde one. I rest my little finger, and I tend to start in the middle and just use little feathery strokes to apply. I do middle, then I go to the outside and just bring it a little bit longer. And then in the inner bit where the brow hairs go up, I actually paint upwards. So you can actually physically paint in, and you can cover, one lady I think asked whether you can cover salt and pepper eyebrows, which again you can, because it's a waterproof color as well. So it will cover sort of the little white hairs as well. And then the secret to this product is to then go back with your spoolie brush number 6 after applying the Bring Back Brow and soften it. Just by doing that, then you'll see it looks really, really natural. So if you have no brow hair at all, what you can do is to actually find, before you start using your spoolie brush, find a start point, which is end of nose here, and put a little dot, end point, end of nose, corner of eye, put a little dot, and then the middle section of the arch, depending how you want your brows to look. I tend to go literally sort of roughly through the middle of the iris, that to find my highest point. So you can actually pop 3 little dots with your Bring Back Brow, and then roughly just little light feathery strokes, fill them in, and you can build it up as much or as little as you want. Some ladies also like to add a little bit of shadow if they want it even darker. Getting the wedge brush, which is our lovely wedge brush number 8. I sometimes do this. I sometimes take a little bit of the taupe matte eyeshadow and just go over my brows after using Bring Back Brow. That obviously won't last because it's just putting a shadow on, whereas the Bring Back Brow shade is waterproof. You know, once it's on, it will stay all day. So yes is the answer to that. You can use it to add brows, or you can just use it even if you've got some brows, you just want to fill in the gaps. But it's a great product, and don't be frightened of it. I would say just give it a go, give yourself time, build it up slowly, and use the spoolie brush. Okay, next question.
Next question is, can I use the eyeshadow stick instead of Sheer Brilliance lip color?
The creamy eyeshadow stick. The question is yes, can you use the creamy eyeshadow stick instead of using, we have the Sheer Brilliance lid colour that has been going quite a long time. We've now got these lovely creamy eyeshadow sticks in 4 shades. Yes, the answer is you can. There are different ways. So today, what have I done today? I put on some interesting colours today, actually, rather than going very boring and just putting my warm browns, because I've got teal on. Today I have used the soft neutral trio. So I've got rose gold all over my eye because I've got sort of peachy colours in what I'm wearing. Then I've used the taupe in the 7 shape, but then I've actually gone over the taupe with a little bit of teal, this one, just to bring out the teal. But what I've then done is I've used one of the creamy eyeshadow sticks. I've used Champagne. I don't know if you can see, just in the middle, just here and here. So I have used it like I might have used the Golden Mist shimmer lid colour, just in the centre, here and here. But you can use them all over as well. I would say if you're going to use them on their own without using the no shimmer eye shades, it's really, really important to wear well, I would wear it anyway, but to wear our eye primer first, the Smooth Out Eye Prime. Just so that you've got a really good base and it doesn't slip around too much. So I would use a small amount. Again, using this product is fantastic. I would only use about the size of a pinhead, not very, very much at all, onto dry, oil-free, clean eyelids. And you can either put it on with clean finger and just blend it in, or what I like to do is to put it on and then just use my concealer brush number 4 to put that all over my lid. Let that dry, let your primer dry before you go in with the creamy eyeshadow sticks. And I have used them in both ways quite successfully. So I've used the Champagne all over. I've even used the Copper, which is quite a warmer one, all over. I've used Smoke as well, which is a lovely grey. And you've probably seen, I think we did a party makeup video recently, not the one before, on one of Tricia's friends, and I used the Smoke on that video really successfully. So yes, you can use them all over. You can use them just to highlight. So the darker one, so what you might do is to wear a matte shadow all over, maybe like the cream, not the creamy eyeshadow, but the colouring cream all over, which is a shadow. And then you could use Smoke just in your socket line. Or like I did today, you can use the lighter ones, more like a highlighter. So there's one called Champagne and there's one called Pearl, which is a really lovely light one as well. Get that one, this one, that's Pearl, which is a sort of a more of a pinky lighter one. And you can use those even underneath the brow a little bit instead of using your Instant Bright highlight. You can even use, I've even used, if you want like a multi-purpose stick, it's quite good to take away with you. You can use it a little bit, the Champagne one, just on the top of your cheekbones, or just in the inner third of your eye. That's another good place to put them, particularly the lighter ones. But you know, equally for a party makeup, you could use, if you want a bit of shimmer, the Smoke you could even put there. So yes, the answer is yes, use them like you used the lid colours, and you can use them on their own. Don't have to apply very much. If you apply too much, they can be a little bit sticky. So I would say then just with your finger, just blend, or use a brush, one of our eyeshadow brushes, just to blend them in a little bit. And then you'll find that they last really, really well. So don't put too much product on and blend them well, but make sure you are putting on your eye prime first with those. Okay, that's that one answered, hopefully. Any questions, do put them in the chat box. Have we got another
So
question?
yes, the next questions was for a lady who has quite hooded eyes, and she's asking if she should wear eyeliner to improve the appearance and upper or lower lash line, as she finds the upper lash line hard to apply.
It's probably one of the questions we get most asked about hooded eyes. Hooded eyes is something that happens to most people. I talked earlier about gravity, gravity winning out, and it's true. Most of us start with lovely sort of almond-shaped eyes, and as we get older, this happens. We get more and more kind of coming down, hoodedness. Now, the question is, do you wear eyeliner? It's an interesting one, and I think it depends how hooded your eyes are and how much area there is. Because if you've got really, really hooded eyes, you'll have very little mobile eyelid showing. So putting an eyeliner on, if they're this hooded and you're trying to put an eyeliner here, you just won't see it. It just is a little bit counterproductive. And a lot of ladies try maybe and put a wing on using a liquid eyeliner when they're older. I've seen this, and I've seen it on videos, and I've seen people doing it. But if you've got a very hooded eye and you're trying to make the wing sort of really lift, you'll very often end up with the wing kind of coming down just because of the shape of your eye. So I would say that what you need to do is to look at yourself really straight on when you're putting your eye makeup on to see how much area you've got here. I would suggest, if you try using eyeliner, but let's talk about where to apply eyeshadow first, because that makes more difference with hooded eyes. What you want to do with a hooded eye is to lift everything. And so I'm just going to demonstrate something to get my little eyeshadow brush. I've lost. There we go. So with a hooded eye, and again, we've got some videos, quite a few videos on hooded eyes, which are so helpful, done by various people. What you don't want to do with eyeshadow, well, there's two things you definitely don't want to do. With a hooded eye, you don't want to put a light, shiny colour on the bit that's hooded here, because that will just, anything light will bring things forward, anything dark will push back. So with a hooded eye, you want to try and create a slightly false, higher, darker socket line. And you can do that with our brush number 9, which is brilliant. It's the smaller of our 2 eyeshadow brushes. So I would say putting on a sort of a medium colour as a wash of colour all over, and then looking at yourself dead straight on the mirror, relaxed. You don't want to do this, you don't want to do this, you don't want to pull weird faces. Looking at yourself straight, finding basically just above the crease. It has to be above the crease, because if you put the darker shadow in the crease, you won't see it when your eyes open. So we kind of just go above the crease here. And what you can do is to take a cotton pad, hold it to get yourself sort of a bit of a template. You can also get a tissue and just hold that at the side so that you don't go too low, because a lot of women bring their eye makeup too low with hooded eyes, which will drag everything down. So holding a tissue, and on that bone, you're just helping to create that sweep of colour. And then if it's not too hooded, I would say you can put a little bit of eyeliner on the top, but don't go too thick, because, and don't go, I would probably just try and do it on that outer edge. So my eyes are starting to go a little bit hooded. They're not too bad. So what you want to do then with eyeliner is bring it upwards so that you're where I would say use either our soft eyeliners just on that very outer sort of third, and then go in with our wedge brush number 8 and a dark shadow and just bring it up. If you want to try. If your hooded eyes are so hooded that you can't see that, I wouldn't bother with putting it on the top. Keep it very fine. Just bother by putting on some mascara if you can. And I would still put a little bit of eyeliner, if you want to, on the bottom underneath the lash. But again, just bringing it upwards. So what you don't want to do is to bring your eyeliner outwards. So I've just brought mine literally probably about that far. And so you can even just with your finger do that, just so that you're sweeping everything up. Some makeup artists say if you've got a hooded eye, don't bother putting eyeliner on the top, but put it on your upper waterline or tight line. Again, there is controversy over that. There are a lot of ophthalmologists that would say never ever put eyeliner on your inner waterline because of the risk of infection, the risk of if your eyes are watering, all that kind of thing. So, but I know ladies do it, and I know it's quite popular that with people with hooded eyes, they sometimes don't put eyeliner on the top, but they do put it on the upper bit here, which again, I will leave that up to you as to whether you want to do that. If you've got watery eyes and you've got eyes prone to infection, I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't encourage that, because obviously you're putting it into the actual eye area. I would say focus on hooded eyes on putting the eyeshadow high enough to lift everything, not bringing your eyeshadow too far down. If you struggle with putting eyeliner on the top and you just can't see it, then just go for mascara and maybe just put some underneath as well, a little bit of eyeliner underneath, and then distract away with lovely brows, lovely lips, beautiful blusher, nice earrings, nice hair, and don't worry, because it's such a common problem. So that's a very long answer. I hope that sort of makes sense. Just depends how much hood there is really as to whether you can put eyeliner on the top as well. Usually you can definitely put a little bit on the bottom, but don't make it too heavy and dark. As we get older, I think going too heavy and dark on the bottom can also look just a little bit unnatural. Okay, I hope that has helped. Any other questions? Next question.
Yes. Is the lip balm applied before or after foundation?
Yeah, this came up a few times. Never Feather Lip Prime. One of Look Fabulous Forever's brilliant 3 primers. I like to apply this product, and if you look on the website, it does sort of have all the details of how to apply. I like to apply it definitely after I've done my foundation, because if you put it on when you put on your face prime, you put your lip prime on then. If you then put your foundation on, sort of blend it in with your brush, you're more likely to sort of move it around and it won't be in the right place. So when I find the best time to remember for me to put this product on is I've done my base, I've put my foundation on, I'm going on to my eyes. I then put my eye primer on. I think, oh, primer, now's a good time to do it. So I then, before I put my eye makeup on, I then get my Never Feather Lip Prime and apply it literally on the outer edge of the lip. You don't apply it all over the lip surface because it is creating a bit of a barrier to stop your lipstick feathering and bleeding. So I put it on at that point, and I do it then so that it's got time to dry before I actually get to the lipstick application time. So if you put it on just before you put your lipstick on, it'll still be a little bit wet. So it's better to put it on and then just with your finger, just gently pat it in, then go back, do your eyes, do your blush or whatever, and then you know you've done it, ready for putting on your lip liner and your lipstick. So I personally don't put it on before I've put my foundation on. I do it before my lips, but not just before my lips. I let it dry. So there's no absolute wrong or right time to do it. As long as there's a little bit of time to dry before you actually put your lipstick on. And make sure that you do put it only on that outer edge. Very clever product, really is, and it's helped a lot of ladies that have got I've got them here, vertical lines, which you just get. I've got a very mobile face, unfortunately, so I've got a lot of, I call them lifelines, because I'm quite sort of animated. There are some people that manage to go through life and don't move their faces and they have no lines, but hey ho, that's just the way I am. And so I've got these lines, and it's just part of it. But this product really does help to stop your lips. You don't want your lipstick moving around on your face. Not a good look. Okay, next question, Nicole.
The next question is best advice for those of us that need glasses to see. How to apply makeup without looking odd.
How to apply makeup without looking odd. I love that. I love that question. Yeah, it's a really good question, and it's really a problem as we get older. If you lose, I'm at that difficult stage where I have to wear short. I wear sunglasses for distance, sunglasses for short. Sometimes I don't wear any. It's like when I'm doing sport, I wear contact lenses. So it's quite tricky. Depends obviously on your eyesight and how good or how bad it is. If it's not too bad, and you haven't yet invested in a really good magnifying mirror to do your makeup, it can be a complete game changer. I've got a ×10, and I have that, and I have the window where I put my makeup on, I have the window in front of me. That also makes a difference, just little things like that, having good light in front of you. So a lot of women do their makeup in the darkest room. They do it in the bathroom, which has got all shadows and not very good light, and they can't really see, and they haven't got a magnifying mirror, or it's in the wrong place. So try and find somewhere in your house that you think this is the best light. Get yourself a really good magnifying mirror. I've also got one of these little ones that I take with me that I can then, really hold up and use if I'm going away and I'm in an Airbnb or somewhere like that, and the lighting's bad and the mirrors are bad as well. So I take my magnifying mirror with me. Might not be good enough though. You might find that still doesn't help. So the other thing you can invest in, worth trying, again, some people love them, some people hate them, are these glasses. I don't know if you've seen these. So they're like, you just Google them, they're called glasses for makeup. It's got one lens in it, and you can actually choose the lens for your prescription. So what you can do is you can put, looking through that eye, you can do your makeup that way. I've even been known to wear them upside down. A bit weird, I know, but that basically means I can get to underneath that eye, so I can look through that eye, but I can just about do my eyeliner underneath. So you're actually moving the lens from eye to eye, flipping it round, so that you can see. Some people think they're great, other people absolutely just say they don't work at all for them. So they're not that expensive, worth investing and trying if you really struggle with a magnifying mirror and that doesn't help you. So that's a good thing to try. Other than that, I would say try and keep your eye makeup, if you really struggle, keep it simple. Keep your eye makeup really simple. And I've done a video recently on how to apply particularly eye makeup with shaky hands. Now, I know you might think, well, how does that relate to not being able to see? Well, it kind of does help a little bit. If you're trying to apply things with shaky hands, there are techniques about actually moving your head rather than moving your hands, and that can help also if you can't see very well. So do have a little look at that video. I don't know whether you can put a link up to that one, maybe, Nicole, and a link up to maybe some of the other things I've mentioned. That might be helpful for people, the hooded eye ones and that kind of thing. So that can help as well. Just keeping your eye makeup very simple, and maybe not trying to put perfect eyeliner, just doing a wash of, even if you just do a wash of eyeshadow, might be pewter grey or taupe, something like that, using our lovely brush number 7. You don't need to see that well to do that. Put it in there, you can put it, have your glasses on, make sure you're using the right colour, and use your brush take your glasses off, get as close to the mirror as you can, and just literally put that on. And then if you've got glasses where you can still do your brows, get your brows. It depends again how big your glasses are as to whether you can see your brows above your glasses, but get your brows looking nice and try and just get some mascara on there. And again, if you look at the shaky hand video, it'll give you ideas on how to put mascara on if you struggle with shaky hands and can't see very well. And just even doing that can make a big, big difference. And then I would say, distract away from, if you can't do your eye makeup, maybe make your glasses, I know we've said this on many videos, make your glasses part of your eye makeup. So invest in some really nice frames in colors that suit you, whether you're warmer or cooler or more neutral, and make those frames part of your makeup so that you're not worrying too much about putting your makeup on. In fact, the other thing that is quite good to use if you can't see very well are the creamy eyeshadow sticks, because they're quite easy. You don't have to use a brush for it, you know, just literally putting a little bit of creamy eyeshadow stick color on your eye can also make your eyes look instantly as though you've done something. So I would say nice frames, nice foundation blusher, really lovely lipstick, get your lipstick color to look really good, maybe wear some gloss, nice earrings, and don't worry too much. But it is a problem, and I think it's just a bit of trial and error in terms of what works for you, in terms of if magnifying mirrors work, or if using those glasses, those flip up glasses work, or whether you just simplify your makeup a little bit and do what you can whilst wearing your glasses and put them on and off. But it's not easy, and you're not alone with that problem. It's just a tough one, really. I hope that's helped a little bit. And yes, I think, yeah, we've got a few comments on there of makeup for glasses wearers and hooded eyes. Brilliant, thank you, Nicole. Right, do we have another question?
Yes, how to disguise under eye bags?
How to disguise under eye bags? Yeah, again, something that affects a lot of people. It can be genetic. It might be that your mum and your dad had really big bags under their eyes, and it's just something that you get. It might be some people have bags because they've got allergies and they get hay fever and it's worse in the summer, all that sort of thing. But it's often just a genetic problem. Bags are one of those things that a lot of people try and put a concealer thing. I've got to conceal my bag. I've got to conceal. Now, if you remember what I said earlier, light colours bring forward and dark colours push back. If you've got really puffy bags under your eyes, I've just got darkness, I haven't got particularly puffy eyes, but if you've got puffy bits, the worst thing you can do is to take a light concealer and put loads of concealer on the puffy bit, because that's just going to make it look more puffy. It will bring it forward more. If you've got really, really puffy bags under your eyes, suitcases under your eyes, you will have underneath the bag, underneath the puffy bit, you'll have a darker indentation. And that's where you want to put a lighter concealer. And I would suggest you get your lip brush number 5, the smaller one. Maybe take depending on what colouring you are, if you're concealer number 1 or number 2 of our creamy concealer, it's brilliant because it's not drying. Take some of the concealer. I'll try and demonstrate. And if you've got puffiness under here, you will have this little bit here will be really dark. So what I want to do is put a lighter colour in the dark bit, then take my ring finger and tap it in. Don't put too much on, just tap, tap, tap to melt that colour in. And what that does is it makes that indented bit that's darker appear, just because you put a lighter colour on, further forward. So that has the illusion then of making your eye bags look flatter, because you haven't then got this darker bit. So it will look, they're not flatter, but they will look flatter because you put a lighter colour, the concealer, into the darker indented bit. And I also put it here. So what I would do with really puffy eyes, I would put when I put my foundation on, my either my continuous cover foundation or light look beauty balm, I would put a tiny bit onto that area. I would not put anything under the eye, but I wouldn't then take a lighter concealer and put loads of it on the bag area. I'd put the concealer on the indented bit and tap it in, and then use a little bit of our translucent powder just to set it. And you'll find that when you look at yourself straight on, then the puffiness doesn't look as puffy. That makes sense. I haven't totally confused you about puffy eyes, but yeah, so that's the secret. Not to use too much concealer on eyes that are when you've got lots of fine lines underneath them. Okay.
The next question
Yes.
is, what is the best foundation for very textured orange peel skin with melasma?
Okay. The question is, what is the best? Sorry, what is the best?
What is the best foundation?
Foundation. The best
for very
foundation
textured skin.
Textured skin with orange peel. Yeah, again, and melasma. Melasma is where you've got the darker pigmentation. That again, you can get that during pregnancy. Then you can get it hormonal changes. It's often worse on a slightly darker skin. All sorts of, and then sun issues. You might end up with big brown splodges here and here. So let's deal with the sort of the sun, the orange peel, and that kind of thing. Skincare is vitally important for textured skin. Getting your skincare right makes a massive difference. I would suggest you definitely try our exfoliator and our hydrating clay mask, maybe once a week, using those products, using really good moisturizers, and essential, particularly if you've got melasma, to use an SPF. So if you can use the SPF 50+ serum every day, that will protect your skin and really help it. Now, if you've got orange peel, huge sort of pores, which is very common, it might be that you'd had a very oily skin when you were younger and you had a bit of acne and various reasons. The Smooth Like Silk Face Prime is a fantastic product for you. I mean, I think it's a fantastic product for anybody over 50. I love it. So you do your skincare, let that dry, do something else, brush your hair, do your teeth, then start your makeup process by putting on the face prime, and you'll find that will really help, particularly the orange peel effect that you might have, enlarged pores, that that happens, and that's worse with sun damage as well. You get like a little sort of crater effect around the pores, but this product will just smooth that over. So when you're putting your foundation on, you're putting it onto a much smoother surface. It makes a massive difference. So if you've got melasma before putting your foundation on, but after putting your primer on, I would use our color corrector in peach. Got one here. Sorry, I shouldn't have that one out. She says. No, here it is. The last one I produced. Here we go. This one, Color Balance Neutralizer. It's a peachy color, and this product is brilliant for hyperpigmentation areas. So what I would do is, before putting my foundation on, if you've got any little areas, or if you've got really dark circles around your eyes, putting a little bit of this on in those areas, and then just dabbing with your finger. Now, to start with, it will look still a little bit orange. Don't panic, you haven't finished the process, but it counterbalances, sort of peachy colors counterbalance brown, dark brown, sort of gray areas. The green one that we have is brilliant for redness, but this one is brilliant for melasma. So I would put it on. Then, if you've got textured skin, orange peel skin, melasma, I probably would go for our continuous cover foundation. This one. You could use it with a little bit of Light Lip Beauty Balm mixed together, but it's a nice medium coverage. I would then take some of this on the back of my hand, but I would also add in a pump of my primer to the back of my hand. And then I would take my foundation brush, this one, number 10, Where you have used the color corrector, you can't just do this. You need to stipple the foundation over the areas. This sort of, you can't just do that, otherwise you'll just rub it off where you have so perfectly placed your color corrector. So stippling it on the areas where you've got the melasma and then using the brush. Then final thing, well, there's 2 more steps, concealer. You will still probably need to go over really large patches with our concealer. Creamy concealer in a very similar shade. You might need to go slightly darker if it's very dark, that area, but using again a small brush, either our concealer brush number 4 I showed you earlier, this one, or if it's smaller areas, I would go for the lip brush. Shall I put it down somewhere? This one, lip brush number 5, just to take the concealer and go over those areas, and then just take my finger, pat it in, and then finally a sweep of powder, the translucent powder, to set everything. And you'll find that you can really disguise the orange peel effect, and you can disguise that melasma as well, and it won't look like a mask. That's what you don't want. You don't want it to look like you're wearing heavy, drying, cakey makeup. But if you keep your skincare good, and you use your SPF, and you regularly exfoliate and you use masks regularly, then you'll find the whole texture of your skin will get better anyway, just by looking after it regularly, not just every now and again, but on a regular basis. So I hope that helps with that question as well. Any other questions, Nicole? Anything else?
How to put on mascara without touching my eyelid is the next question.
Good question. Good question. I love that question. So what I do, I always tell my ladies when I do makeup lessons, when you do your mascara, a lot of women go straight in the mirror and do it like that. And then they blink, they sneeze, something happens, you get blobs everywhere. So when you're doing your top, this is top tip, when you do your top lashes, take a mirror and actually hold the mirror down. If you can have a little small mirror rather than doing it against the flat mirror on the wall. So if you can imagine you're doing the opposite. So when you're doing your top lashes, hold the mirror down and look down. So you can see then my lashes are away from my skin. And you'll find then, and what I tend to do is to blink, literally slightly blink onto the mascara wand. You can get mascara wand. So I can't do it in the mirror. So there's no way now my lashes can touch my lid because I'm looking the mirror down. So I tend to do that with both the tops, but you do need to be a little bit patient and let them dry before you look up, because that's the other thing. People just don't wait till their mascara has dried and then they look up and then they get all those little blobs, which is really annoying. If you do get those little blobs, best way to remove them is to take a cotton bud and dip it into your foundation or your Light Look Beauty Balm and just literally take it off. Or you can wait till they're dry and just sort of flick them off with a cotton bud. But if you've really made a blob, you will want to actually cover it with a little bit of foundation, particularly if you blob down here. Take a little bit of foundation and just do that, and you'll find it comes off without removing your foundation or the colours. So that's the top ones. The bottom ones, if you want to wear mascara on your bottom lashes, you want to do exactly the opposite. So you want to you let the top ones dry, so there's no chance you're going to get transference onto here. Then you hold your mirror up. So you hold your mirror up so that your lashes are completely away from this part of your skin. And you basically I tend to coat them downwards like this. And then you are less likely to, and what I do is I turn my hand that way to do these, so that again, I'm not going to get my hand in the way where my nose is. So I look up for a little bit, let those dry before looking straight ahead. So that, and particularly if you've got long lashes, it's a real problem. I don't have particularly long lashes. If you've got long lashes, then yeah, you can really end up with mascara everywhere. And then you just think, oh no, I've got to get it all off and I made a mess, and you just, it's hard. So top tip, little mirror, When you do the top ones, look down. When you do the bottom ones, look up. So I hope that has Linda. I hope that has helped without touching your eyelid. Yeah, it's a really good question, and it's something that can take so much time to remedy if you blob your mascara. So I always say take your time on your mascara, because you'll end up spending much more time trying to remedy blobs than if you take a little bit more time doing it in the first place. And have your cotton tips, cotton buds and foundation to hand. Any more questions at all, Nicole? She's
There was
gone.
one question. No,
Yes.
I'm here. There's
Yes.
one question, and I think that's the final one, where someone, when they're doing the V shape using the eyeshadow sticks, cannot blend them, and it also changes color to dark, but only in one of their eyes.
So they're using the creamy eyeshadow sticks, and it's going one cut. So one color it's not working. One eye it's not working.
Yes, their right eye, for some reason, it goes dark.
It goes dark. Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting one. Yeah, our eyes are not. They are not twins. They are sisters. I would say make sure. I don't know whether this lady is using the eye primer first. That is something. Do you remember I mentioned? If you're using those creamy eyeshadow sticks, it makes such a difference to use the eye prime on your clean, oil-free eyes first. Why it's going dark on one side, I'm not quite sure. That's a tricky one. It might be that this lady actually has a little bit more naturally, a bit more pigmentation on that eye, and then it's a question of maybe just applying it slightly lighter handed on one side. And that's sometimes I find I have to apply my makeup slightly differently to one eye than I do to the other. I might put a little bit more on one side, which is sort of counterintuitive, but because maybe there is a bit more pigmentation on one side, or for whatever reason, I would still make sure maybe she blends it really well with a brush, one of our eyeshadow brushes. That might just help to kind of make it look a little bit more even. But definitely eye primer, definitely maybe slightly changing the way in which she applies on that particular eye and puts it on a little bit less heavily and blends it a little bit more. But yeah, that's an interesting one. It's so true though that our eyes are not the same. You very rarely have two eyes that are completely symmetrical, and you just have to adapt. And I think the other thing is when you put your makeup on, a lot of women, when they come for a makeup lesson, they're looking really closely into a mirror at themselves and they go, oh my gosh, oh, my eyes look awful. And nobody looks, well, not many people look at you that closely. So when you have done your makeup, it's always when you're doing your eye makeup, it never looks right until everything else is done anyway, until you've got your lips done and you've got your blusher and you've pulled your fringe back down, etc., etc. So, and then what I say is hold a mirror at arm's length and look at yourself at arm's length at the overall picture. And you might find that actually, yeah, that little bit of imperfection where one eye is slightly different to the other, it really doesn't matter. You are aware of it because you are looking closely at that one little area of your eye or your face. But when you walk into a room, they're just seeing you. And if your general makeup is lovely and polished and well blended, you've used the primers, you've used lovely colors that accentuate your coloring, by going on our colour quiz if you're not sure whether you're warmer or cooler, then you will look good. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, symmetrical. It's the effect at an arm's length of you overall. And I think we are very, very quick to criticise ourselves. I know we are. Women particularly are very quick to look and see the things that we don't like, rather than the things that are good on our faces, and our bodies and our hair and everywhere. So celebrate the good bits and don't hone in closely at those little bits. If you've blended things well and the whole look is good, then no one will notice, I promise you. So I hope that has helped as well. Oh, any more questions? I think is there a question about?
Yes, we have one, and the thing is, find the waterproof mascara brush comes out very wet. So maybe any tips that would be able to fix that.
Okay, someone's saying that, yeah, the waterproof brush comes out well. It's interesting, yeah. Sometimes I just sometimes just take the. It's a good question. What I do if I'm finding it comes out wet, I would literally just sort of take off that little edge of it. And the other thing you can do if you love the mascara but you don't quite like the brush for you is to invest. They're not expensive, in some little disposable mascara wands like this, which you can get online, and just so you're taking less product off. This is what I do when I'm doing clients, or if I'm doing my makeover for cleanliness, so that I'm not double dipping. I would actually use these on their own, but if you're using it yourself, you can use them onto the wand, and you might just find that's easier. But I know what you mean. Sometimes it might come out. You know, I quite like the fact that ours are a little bit wet, because I find it gets better coverage then on sparser lashes. But you do have to be a little bit careful doing what I said earlier, looking down, taking off a little bit of the excess if you need to, on the edge, or using a little disposable wand might help if you find that troublesome. But it's a great question. Couldn't we have a similar block from LFF? Yeah. I'll mention that to the powers that be, definitely. Yeah, they were good. But thank you. Great question. Any more? I think we are coming.
That's it.
Any more questions? I think what I do want to tell you about is an amazing Black Friday offer that we have. So everything that I've talked about today, in fact, all our products are 20% off until, I think it's this week, until the end of Saturday. And if you spend £100, you get a free face primer. You get one of these Smooth Like Silk face primers, which I think are worth £29. You get one of these for free as well if you put in the code BLACK in your offer code. And that's, I think, till midnight on Saturday. Is that right, Nicole? I think it's to the end of Saturday. So a great Black Friday, great time to stock up on presents for people, or your own makeup ready for Christmas, ready for party season as well. So it's been really lovely seeing you all and getting your questions, and I hope that I've helped a little bit, and I hope that with the tutorials that we do, the nice thing about the tutorials is you can actually have them in front of you and sort of go along and follow them. I know that some ladies find that really helpful. You can pause them and just kind of watch things and do it along with it. The secret to makeup is giving yourself time, giving yourself permission, and giving yourself the time to play, experiment, and not to always be doing it on the rush. Oh, I've got to go out in 3 minutes, I've got to put my makeup on. And then it becomes something that's a bit of a sort of scary chore, rather than what I do is I love, funny enough, I love putting makeup on. I put my radio on, and I listen to the radio, and it's a little bit of me time. I'm doing a little bit of something artistic, but it happens to be on my face that makes me feel gooder, that's a good word, makes me feel better about myself, and makes me happy. I do it for me, for no one else, I do it for me. And I think allowing yourself the time to do it, to use good brushes, to experiment with colours, and to not be rushing is the secret to enjoying makeup, enjoying skincare, whatever age you are. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you found this morning helpful, and I look forward hopefully to seeing you again and seeing you on other videos. And thank you so much. Don't think there's any other questions, are there? So I will call off. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.